Ethan doing?
He's
They
doing
told me he's
great.
doing really good.
He is.
So,
He's doing excellent. He had his
oh, good.
transplant. Everything was successful. He's up and walking around now. Had some scary days, had some good days, but he's about, I don't know, a couple weeks from being out of there. So this is his
Okay.
ninth week in. So he's ready to get out. But
Oh,
yeah,
wow. He's been in that for that long already.
yes. Yep.
Wow. Oh, poor thing. So he's
Yes.
going to be spending Christmas there.
Yeah, we're moving over
Oh,
to
is he okay?
yeah, he's fine. They have like a Ronald McDonald house that you can go to when for people who have to stay there, and he should be out of the hospital and into that by the time
Okay.
it's Christmas. So he'll actually be out of the hospital. Just have to live locally there. We're about
Just.
yeah, hour and a half away. So
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. In America, there's big distances, aren't there? It's
yes,
not like here where everything is close by.
that's true.
That's the one thing I don't miss is those long distances.
Yes, it is very
Um,
large.
Here you just take a bike, you go to the store, you know.
That's
You know?
crazy. I love it though.
Yeah, it's easier. It's a 10-minute drive and you got everything, you know, everything's close by. So
That will be nice.
that I do like. I do miss America though. I do miss the people. I miss the straight streets.
I
Everything's just like it's
bet.
either straight that way, or that way. You know, it's very simple. Here it's all these tiny little medieval roads, and you barely have room with your car to get in there. And then a car comes from the opposite direction, and you're like, ah, crap, now
Gotta
we're
stop.
stuck. Now we're stuck. Okay, somebody needs to back up.
That's great.
Uh,
The
that I
medieval
don't.
roads
That's
sound cool to me, though. I'm like, wow,
Well,
we're not used to
Gerald
that.
likes
So
them. He thinks they're cool, but it is tricky with a car, you know.
I bet it
It's
would be.
it's tricky to park, you know. It's always parallel parking.
Oh boy.
So, you know, you got used to it, but yeah, America was just like, whoop, you're in your
Yeah.
spot, you know. It's
Yeah, it's true.
so easy. Anyway, let's talk about you. Let me put down your name so I can get the scribble pad going.
Sounds great.
Justin. Okay, well, I'm glad Ethan is doing much better. People
Thank
are
you.
asking though, they're sending me private messages. How is he doing?
Oh, I appreciate you
So
posting
I
all
will
that
pass
too.
it along.
Thank you.
Um, you know, he can get all the help he can get, you know. It always
We're
helps,
so
so
happy
prayers
for
do
it.
help.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But you know, the good news is that I do feel like he's gonna go through a really wonderful time. Once everything's established, he's still gonna have to do a lot of medication and things like that, unfortunately. He's gonna have to be careful, is what they're telling me. Um, but it's almost like there's a sense of relief that's sent into his heart, and it's almost like the feeling that they're giving me is that, you know, he's always been a very high vibrational spirit. He's always been a spirit that came in on a fifth dimensional plane, inspiring people around him. That's what he's here to do. Um,
Absolutely.
but there was always still that human aspect of himself that doubted everything. And he's the kind of person who will not express all his fears because he doesn't want to add more worry to the people that are already worried about him.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, he's the kind of person who will hold in his fears in order to not overload everybody else. So that's how much love he has for other people. But it's almost like something switched within him with this. An overloading sense of connection
Wonderful.
to a divine source is what
Wonderful.
synced in. And it just feels like he knows it's going to be tough and he's going to, you know, he's going to have to go through certain healing procedures and he's kind of to a point where it is possible there's still going to go stuff that's going to come up. But it's almost like whatever happened with this transplant, he didn't just get lungs. The person he got the lungs from was a very, very spiritually connected individual.
Oh wow.
And it's so he's already spiritual, and now he absorbed the energy of that other individual through the lungs. And so it's almost like this whole new world is opening up. This whole new divine connection has entered into his body and highlighted what was already there. And so he's going to start, you'll notice that he's going to change a little bit. He's going to start talking like a teacher.
Wow.
He's going to start talking like a spiritual guru almost. He's
Oh,
going to start looking at life differently. And again, he was already very high vibrational, but it's almost like this transplant has given or has been divinely chosen. This individual was divinely chosen to kind of blend their energies with him in order to help heal the family, but also in order to become a teacher, a spiritual guide to people with more confidence. Because he is a very wonderful, gentle, good loving, highly vibrational entity. But when it comes to speaking with security, like how do I say it, with self-confidence towards people. He does very well with friends and people he knows real well. But when it comes to strangers, he can be very shy and withdrawn.
spot on.
Um, and this is going to push him out of his shell. This is going to be like, damn, I don't have to be scared of anybody.
Wonderful.
And it's
How
going to push
wonderful.
him into that leader role, the leadership that he's supposed to, then take into his adult life, and that will infuse what he does in the future. The gift he's meant to be for others, for many, many. Does that kind of make sense? So it's almost
Absolutely.
like
Absolutely does.
this source through the lungs, this extra source of confidence has been installed into him. And that's going to have an effect on how he now sees strangers and other people. He's no longer going to live in that fear of, ooh, I don't know who that is, got to protect myself. He's going to come out
Spectacular.
of that shell, and that's going to alter a lot of things. Does that make sense?
It does. The
So,
first thing he wrote on a little whiteboard when he still couldn't speak is a gift from God. And
mm.
I was so emotional.
I mean, for his age, that is really because it was profound. They're making me feel like it came from such a high place. It really is a realization, like something just hit him. It's no longer, oh, I'm sick and I'm gonna need to always focus on that. It's almost like he now was infused with the light energy, the knowing of, yes, this vessel is sick, but I'm not sick. And I can alter and change my vessel through thought and emotional content. It's almost like that's now sunk in. And he's going to perform miracles. He's going to do things that people cannot explain, that doctors will not be able to explain. But again, it's going to be a slow process. He's still young. But something set in that he's no longer seeing himself as sick, but he's simply seeing the vessel as being flawed, and therefore he can fix it with his soul.
That's excellent.
That's what's coming in. So it's big, it's massive.
Wow.
And so they just want to collectively, they're just kind of letting you know that because they want you to feel really good and comfortable about this. Now, it's going to still have its ups and downs. He is still very young, but that knowing has set in, and that's really going to help him to become kind of the individual he's meant to become. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's some great wisdom. That's wonderful. Really happy to hear that.
There is an individual. I keep looking that way. I want to show you there's nothing there because I don't know if I ever showed you, but some people think I
Did
stick stuff on
once.
my wall. But I
Yes,
mean,
I've
I,
met
I
those
don't
kind
even
of
know
people.
why. If I would stick it on my wall, I have to go like that. Or I don't know how I would even do that, but my eyes are being drawn to the flowers that are right. Like there's a box, I showed you. There's a box, a green box that's got flowers. It's almost like I'm seeing him walking through these flowers, and it's like every flower he touches, that flower will open up, you know? That's kind of what it feels like. Like he's gonna release and open something up in people's hearts, and it's gonna be wonderful to observe. That said, there is a I want to say a Cecil or I don't know if Cecile, I don't even know how you would say it. There's a kind of like a Cecil here. This is like a male energy that's somehow connected to you. I want to say maybe a great grandfather or a great grandfather. Um, there's definitely a connection to you on a family level. Oh,
Have
and
heard
that
that
down.
name
You don't want to see my
before.
ugly wall there.
I have
Oh,
heard
look
that
at the
name
holes in my
before.
ceiling. Yeah, there's a Cecil. Um, he's kind of funny though. I like his energy. He seems like he's got a bubbly kind of heart. But he also could be strict in life, I feel like it depended on what was going on. He had both he had the very much a
Would
duality of a
adjust.
personality, adjusted according to what was going on at the time. And he wants to step forward because he wants to say hello. He says, I'm not part of your spiritual team, but he just wanted to step forward because he does want to talk to you about relationships, he says. Relationships are changing for you, and he wants you to know that it's not because of you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's almost like he's saying, don't take the blame upon you. Um, Really, what's happening is um, you and your children are moving into a dimension that not everybody can follow you in. And until the other individual, it's almost, I think they might be talking about your wife,
Mhm.
but it's almost like there's a river. They're showing me a river. There was a little stream between you two, and that stream is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It just feels like there's distance being
Yes.
created between you. And it's almost like it's not your fault. They really want to emphasize that. They really want you to embrace it
Okay.
because you are in a state where you're expanding, you're growing, you're um, rapidly engaging into a five-dimensional plane. You're rapidly connecting to that. Um, Unfortunately, because she is stuck in victim consciousness, and it's kind of a loop. She's better, she's worse, she's better, she's
Mhm.
worse, she's better, she's worse. Because she feels stuck, she's trying to escape.
Makes sense.
Whatever's happening, whatever's creating that distance is
Hmm.
an escape.
Makes
She's
sense.
trying to run away, not from you, but from unconsciously her soul feels that you're moving into a different vibrational plane, and she knows that the way she feels today, the way she approaches life today, she can't follow you there. She's not ready. Does that make sense?
Does.
And because of that, she went into this, it's almost like fight or flight mode. And she started running away instead of dealing and processing and healing and altering. You were able to look at things from a higher perspective and to slowly but surely over the years, the many, many years that you've been awake, you have realigned slowly but surely the way you perceive reality. She tried to follow you in that, but she kept going around and hitting the same wall, going around, hitting the same wall. Let's try this road, hitting the same wall. And because of that, it makes her feel like she's a hinder to you, that she's a block, an iron block, a heavy weight, just keeping you down.
Okay.
And because of that, she went and she tried to run away. Does that kind of make sense? And
Does
maybe even
does
in the arms of someone else, but it's almost like she ran away because unconsciously she's punishing herself for not being able to get unstuck.
I see.
Does that
Makes
make
sense. It
sense?
does makes
So
perfect sense.
it's almost like they want you, they want to validate to you. It's not because she doesn't love you. It's because she doesn't love herself. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about that except loving her and loving that she needs to do what she needs to do to get better.
Makes
And
sense.
it is a difficult task when you love someone, but we have to allow all spirits to be free to choose their journey, even if it hurts us.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Does.
And you've
Very
sort of
helpful.
made peace with that because you just want her to be happy.
Mm.
And she is seeking happiness, but it's a kind of a temporary nature.
Mm.
Um,
Makes sense.
Whatever's going on might be going on for a few years, but it seems like it is only going to be a temporary refuge until again she realizes that what other love or whatever she's focusing on right now or whoever she's focusing on right now again can't fix her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she needs to realize that the only person who can change her reality is her. And that's the journey that she's chosen right now. This is her own free will choice. The ego is choosing this. The soul knows that she can change. The ego, however, is not convinced.
Okay.
And
That makes
so
sense.
she's pushing herself in a direction where she again will be confronted with the fact that it doesn't matter where you run to or who you run to, you're still going to be confronted with the same problems. Um, so how this is going to unfold, you guys will always have a connection. You'll always have the children. You will always find love for one another. But there are several possible realities when it comes to how your relationship evolves in the future. There is a chance that you find somebody else, she finds somebody else, and somehow you guys go your separate ways but still remain friends. There is an opportunity where um, she finds her way back to you. And then it's up to you to decide whether or not that still works for you. Um, there is an opportunity where at some point it's almost like she decides to step out of this life. That is unfortunately also an opportunity. Not a pleasant one, but it is still a possibility. Okay. Uh, we're calling it an opportunity because any kind of free will choice is an opportunity. Um,
Is this one of those
so at this,
situations where you create an exit um, prior
where
to the
you can
lifetime?
create, yeah. So she's not meant, that's not what the
Oh,
original
okay.
plan is. But there is always the free will choice of the ego
I
that
got you.
can overpower the
Okay.
soul's choice. So it's the least likely one, but it's always a possibility, is what they're saying.
Okay.
Unfortunately, at this time, there's not one they say that we can say is going to be the most dominant because she is trying to distract herself from the task at hand. Whoever or whatever she's doing, it's a distraction. Distraction from the job of healing that she needs to do, the job of taking responsibility and altering the reality around her, because she's the only one who could do that. So whatever's going on right now is her way of distracting her from that. Unfortunately, you can't distract yourself forever. It always reappears what you're running away from. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
However, always keep in mind that her love for you has not faded. It just, it's her way of escaping a situation. That's all she's doing. Although she will support her children and all of that, it just feels like it's her way for a temporary distraction, to give her a sense of, I'm not disappointing Dustin anymore. Because
I see.
that's what she feels, that she's disappointing you, because she says, I'm not strong enough to make the changes that I know I should make and I can't. Does that make sense? She
It does.
doesn't want to be a burden on you. That's how much she loves you.
That makes sense. Thank you for
But it
that.
is painful for whatever's happening between you guys. It just feels like it is a difficult situation, but it is one that both souls will grow from and will expand. You guys will ascend the situation and may it eventually it's going to be something nice and beautiful, but how it's going to unfold is still yet to be seen. It's not written in stone, is what they're saying. Because she's one day she's there, one day she's here, one day she's there, there's no stability in her beingness.
Gotcha. Okay. That does
That
make
makes
sense. It
sense.
does.
Okay.
It does. Thank you.
That said, Cecil says you continue with your life.
Okay.
You continue doing what is right for you. Don't wait, is
Okay.
basically the thing. Continue with your life and then see how everything unfolds. Okay? Does that make
It
sense?
does. I appreciate it.
Okay. It's important, he
Cecil.
says. It's important
Okay.
that you know that. Um,
I appreciate it. Sometimes you just have to hear it, It's good.
yeah, and I don't know what's going on between you guys. They're just showing me distance
Mhm.
between you. So it just feels like her focus on is on something else or someone else, away from you. They're showing, in my mind, they're showing you two standing next to each other, but you're looking at her and she's looking in a different direction. That's kind of what how they're presenting it to me. So whatever's going on there, um, don't stop living life, okay? Um, always keep love in your heart. Respect the choices, even though it's hard sometimes to understand. Um, and then you'll really learn to master. It's almost like through this experience, you are mastering unconditional love. You are mastering it. And having unconditional love for your children is one thing, but having it for another person who's making choices that are not inclusive of you, um, is a whole different ballgame. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So you're moving into, what we call Christ consciousness, where you can still, where people can hurt you from time to time, but you can still feel unconditional love for them and respect for the choices their souls is making, because
Right on.
it's not our it's not up to us to decide what that soul wants to experience. It is, however, our within our power to decide how we respond to that.
That makes perfect
And
sense.
that's what you're mastering, is really finding stability in guiding your own emotions. Um, because he says, you've always been a very emotional person. You don't show the emotions, but you feel them very deeply and very intensely. And you do get easily hurt, um, including with yourself, how sometimes you perceive yourself. You can feel pain on a deep, deep level. Um, but that said, you've expanded massively on guiding your own energy and your own thoughts. You've become much more conscious, much more aware of your thoughts and your feelings, and therefore you have become a better guide to them. And that's going to help you as you're moving into a permanent state of fifth dimension. Um, but as said by many souls, he says, sometimes we will have to leave people in the 3D that are not willing to come with us. So it doesn't mean you won't connect or anything like that, but it just means that the connection will fade and will become less. But that's okay. I almost feel sad for some reason. And maybe I'm just picking up on your energy, but I just feel a sadness inside. But at the same time, it's like a great understanding that whatever's happening is happening because it needs to happen. So,
Mhm.
um, I feel this like somebody's doing this. Um, It's almost like, and again, they're stepping forward very collectively today. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like a collective, it's almost like you're surrounded. There's this collective energy that's surrounding you. It's almost like do you have the feeling by any chance? Because the way it's making me feel is it's like you're here on Earth, but at the same time, you have this feeling like you're not really here.
Yeah, I don't always
You know what
connect
I'm saying?
with the environment. I guess with the situation sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
been a
feel
hard
like you're
journey.
disconnected a lot of
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
And it's almost like it's not you that's doing that. It's actually, they're showing me this collective energy that's trying to protect you so you wouldn't um, abandon your path. So
mhm,
you wouldn't abandon um,
mhm,
what you're meant to do, who you're meant to be for your children, and so on and so forth, and then for for the ETs that are communicating with you, and so on and so forth. So it's almost like there's a protective energy around you that's it might feel almost like you're paralyzed sometimes.
sure. Yeah,
Um, but it's like it's intentional. It's
I see.
not because you're not allowed to, grieve or be sad or anything like that. But it's
Mhm,
almost like it's a crucial time for you to remain for them to keep you in a balanced energetic state so you wouldn't miss out on the 5D reality boat. That's kind of what it feels like. So it is possible that at the beginning of 2025, once you're fully linked into the 5D, that you might get at the beginning of the year, it's almost like an overwhelming outpouring of energy and sadness. Okay? Allow yourself to let it out. Cry, get mad, go take some boxing lessons, whatever you need to do to get that anger and that sadness out. Um, because you do need to release it, but it's almost like they can't have you do that now because it would anchor you into the 3D, and that's not where your soul wants to be.
Okay, that
Does
makes
that make
sense.
sense? So
Yes.
if you're feeling off, if
Hmm.
you're feeling awkward, if you're feeling like you're just kind of this zombie robot going through life,
Hmm.
they're intentionally keeping you that way.
I
Okay.
see. Makes
So
sense.
it's almost like you need to know so you
Hmm.
don't feel like you're going backwards or you're moving into a space of nothingness. It is an intentional protective, it's almost like one of those safety things when when you go overboard and you're about to drown, one of those
So,
safety
lifeline.
things
Yeah,
around you, life
yeah,
life jacket, life
yeah, yeah.
thingies, that they're putting around you intentionally. They're intentionally making that around you so you can keep focused on the ball, you can keep focused on the children, and know, Cecil really wants you to know that everything's going to be okay from now on. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to have your ups and downs. That's normal. But 2025, 2026 are going to be very productive years for you in terms of finances, but also spiritual advancement. Why? Because a lot of the distraction is going to be gone. Okay, the worry about the children, but also the worry about her. A lot of those were distracting you, which is normal. No judgment on this end, they say, but it takes away your focus and your energy from the things that can help you to become that master manifester, and that Christ consciousness kind of thing. Um, so what 2025, 2026 will bring for you is more space, more energy, and more focus on your own evolution. Um, and then that will help not only you, but also the children. And then everybody who's connected to you. Understand that he says there's these kind of invisible cords, energetic cords between all the people you love, even the people that are far away. And so unconsciously you will send your positive energy and through that, through those cords to them as well. So you're going to help them without you having to actually go and physically help them, if you know what they're
Yes.
saying.
Yes, I do.
Okay. But as the focus grows, as the attention and intention, two different things, um, gets intensified on your connection with the higher realms, your connection with other beings, you're gonna see a massive increase in communication. Also, because 2025, 2026, open contact will be allowed from the council, the Galactic Council.
That's
Okay.
wonderful.
So you're going to see much more presence. You're going to notice much more dream activity. You're going to notice a lot more stuff going on around your house at night. You're going to see them very
Makes sense.
clearly passing by and saying hello. So that contact will increase also because the distractions, or a big part of the distractions, will be removed from your reality. So whatever's happening not only helps her to find her way, but will also help you to continue to expand in the way that you want to expand. Does that make sense?
Does. Does.
And then everything else will slowly but surely become more clear as you move into, eventually you won't need me anymore. Oh, then I'm gonna have to miss you. But that's the direction you're gonna move into, and that's what I'm here for, to help people get to that point where they don't need me anymore. That's a success story for me, when they don't need me anymore. So, um, that's what's happening. As far as your health, the end of 2024, 2025, you're gonna slowly but surely start to feel better. They're showing me a lot of fatigue inside of you. You're just tired. You're tired of thinking, you're tired of figuring things out. I just feel like there's a mental fatigue. Um, and that mental fatigue weighs on you and gives you a little bit more weight than you want to see. Okay. Literally, when we have energetic weight,
Right.
it transforms into kilos. I mean, look at my big butt. I have a big butt. What can I say? It's all that caring and worrying about people. That's what it is. All go straight to my ass. Um, it's okay, is what they're saying. But just know that you're gonna really get into a health state, a healthy state. And health is not thin, okay? Health is mentally, energetically, and then the body shapes itself accordingly. Um, because my healthy state is not a stick. I will always be big boned because it's DNA related, for example, but I can be completely healthy. 2026, you're gonna feel amazing in your body. Okay. 2025, you're still feeling the impact of everything that's going on, but you're also very much, it's almost like your body's, it's like your mind is already 5D, but your body's still struggling to get there. Your body's like running behind you. I know you're like in the front, and I feel like your body's like, wait, not so fast. Like your body's trying to catch up. It's
Yeah,
like
that
your
sounds
mind
about
is
right.
quicker than the body. Right?
That sounds about right.
You're there faster in spirit than you are in physical form. That's the thing. So give your body time to readjust, okay? Take good care of it, be kind to it, love it unconditionally, and just know that you're the bomb. You gotta go, I'm the bomb. Okay? We gotta get all of us, every single human has to be able to look at ourselves because that's what 5D is to understand that, our bodies express who we are. And so they are perfect in their creation because they are great tools to let us know, are we carrying too much weight or are we putting too much pressure on ourselves? They're a great tool to let us know that something's not right. So we have to see them as these divine tools. They're not overweight, they're not thin, they're just simply expressing something that we need to focus on, something we're not noticing ourselves, so our body notices it for us and shows us. Okay.
Okay.
As we're moving into a 5D reality, that's going to become common knowledge for humans. So we'll no longer see the body as it needs to be thin, it needs to be big, it needs to be big boobs, little boobs. You know what I'm saying? They're so focused on what a body should look like, but they're not understanding yet in the 3D world that the body looks like your soul, looks like what your energy is. So the perception of the physical body, the physical vessel will change, and therefore how we feel about our bodies and how we collectively feel we should look like is going to completely alter than the way we're perceiving our bodies now. So we're really going to embrace all different kinds of bodies because we're going to understand that it depends on where that soul is, what they're going through, what they're processing, how their energy is flowing, and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a different kind of like, in the old days, the bigger you were, the
Hmm.
sexier you were. I mean, we
Sure.
missed
Yeah.
our era. We
Yeah.
really
That
did.
was the
We would have
Renaissance
been
style.
awesome. We would have been on every portrait, right? We would have been like, oh
I remember
wow.
that in art class. Our teacher was like, "This
Yeah,
is what beauty was back then," and
it is,
yeah, yeah,
because the wealthy had food.
yeah,
So the
yeah,
rounder you were, the
yeah.
richer you were.
Right, right.
Right?
That's
So
spot on.
that just shows you that, beauty is it's just something in the mind. It's an idea. Health, that's all you want. You don't want, to follow a certain standard, all the six apps. And you know what? I've never seen a man with a six, and I've seen a lot of men. Okay. There's probably like 1% who have those abs, and 1% of the entire population. So doesn't happen very often. Gerald always goes, I have six apps, like one there, one there. It's like apps everywhere. Look at my phone, he's going, look at all the apps I got.
I love it.
Anyway, so don't worry too much
Okay.
about your health. Everything is being influenced by the last. I mean, we're getting massive energy right now. We're being like, it's like a shower of downloads right now because it's the universe forcing shit. Crap, this timeline is about to close, or it's about to separate. We need to push as much as we can in there. We're still going to have a 12-year cycle of separation, so people are still going to be able to hop. But it's going to get harder with each year. The further it goes, the bigger the gap, the harder it gets.
Makes
But
sense. Yeah. Makes sense.
just look at it. It's like two continents that are right now, they're right next to each other. They're blended in a way. We're seeing everything at the same time. The 5D, the 3D, the 4D. It's all blended right now. But starting January, those tectonic plates start to move separate and the gap becomes with each year further, further, further. And so we'll still see each other and talk to the 3D people and observe their 3D world, but it won't affect us anymore because we know that we're in a different reality. But over time, they'll be so far removed that it'll become almost impossible to still interact or see that world.
Wow.
So that's what's happening. Um, your children, either way, are going with you. It just feels like most of your family is already they're pretty good, is what they're showing me. Your mom, it's almost like you get certain abilities from your mother.
Sorry.
You and your mom are very close in energy, is what they're showing me. Like you have very similar intuition. Your mom could just pick a bad apple out of a crowd. She'll be like, "That's the bad there." She has this sixth sense for feeling people's energy. She doesn't even realize it, but she does it so naturally, and you get your abilities from her. Um, she's also very stubborn and very hard-headed. So that's going to create that she's going to have a long life. She's going to be here for quite a while still. Your dad, on the other hand, is almost like they're a little bit worried when it comes to his circulatory system.
Okay.
Is it possible that he's having some blood issues or heart issues?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he's been going to the doctor. He had some issue where he's blind in kind of one eye now because he was really doing something outside where he was really extremely, his muscles. And yeah, so that makes sense with circulatory system.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they do have some advice if
Oh,
he's
great.
willing, because he is pretty
Yeah.
stubborn
I'll
too.
tell him one way or the
He
other.
doesn't like to change his habits. We know, they say, okay? But okay, so on the eye, on his eyes, both of them,
Mhm.
okay, every evening. They're showing me putting castor oil on the outside of the eyelids every day. It has to be steady. Every
Okay.
single, do it in the evening before he goes to bed. Put it there, go to bed, close your eyes. During the night, all the castor oil is going to really pull into the eyes and it will heal the eye. Although the doctors will say that's not possible, it is.
Wow. That's great.
Okay. Um, that's one. Two, as far he really needs to increase the oxygen levels in the blood
Okay.
in order to support the organs because his organs are struggling with kind of a lack of oxygen. Um, and we need to clear some of the veins up. Some of the veins are getting kind of narrow, is what they're showing me, which is, not good for the blood circulation. And then we can get to stroke or heart problems and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So in order to get you really assist that, he really needs to take some cayenne pepper every morning.
Okay.
Okay. So in a little glass of water, I have a big glass here, but a little glass of water, just the tip of a teaspoon
Okay.
in the water, stir it real well, one chuck down before he eats anything.
Okay.
What that'll do is it'll clear any kind of problem in the stomach because despite belief that cayenne pepper is spicy, so it can't be good for the stomach, it actually heals the pH levels in the stomach.
Oh, wonderful.
And
Okay.
it removes any kind of ulcers. It heals ulcers, so it's really good for the stomach. Two, what it does is it thins the blood a little bit and it strengthens the walls of the heart and the veins. So what it does is it'll dissolve any kind of deposit that's in the veins,
Oh,
strengthen the outer veins, and strengthen the heart muscle.
wonderful.
Okay. So what it'll do is it'll create a more fluent blood flow. Therefore, the oxygen will be spread out more
Uh,
evenly. And so the last thing that he needs to do is at least 5 minutes a day is
mhm.
to really kind of sit, close his eyes, listen to some music, and do some deep breathing exercises to
Okay.
increase the oxygen.
Okay.
Okay.
Easy
As for
enough.
your mom, she's in pretty good health, except for her hands that are hurting. Okay.
Okay.
Um, She's always working with her hands. They show me she's always
That's
busy,
true.
always doing something.
That's true.
And they're just showing me like the bones or the whatever the joints are
Mhm.
hurting. Um, okay, I know what they're showing me my bracelet. What she
Great.
needs to get is a copper
Okay.
bracelets
Sure.
with magnets. There's magnets.
Okay.
They make
I've
these
seen those.
special.
Hmm.
Okay. They got little magnets and it controls the energy flow to the hands.
I've seen those.
What
Okay.
it'll do is if she can wear them on whichever hand is hurting, if she has both hands hurting, she wears one on each. The copper and the magnets will improve the flux of the energy
Sure.
and will take away the pain in her hands.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Okay, so that may be a good
Yeah,
Christmas gift for her. Something
absolutely.
to think about. There you go. You got that off your list.
Yeah, that's right.
But that'll help her with her hands. Okay. Um, your little girl is doing exactly what she needs to do. She's growing up to be a firecracker. So she's right on track. She's starting to really become self-aware. And so this is where you're going to really start. It's like this new year is where you're really going to start seeing her personality develop. Um, Make sure, they say, that she understands that every action has a reaction. Okay. And it's just noticing it or saying it, or if there is interaction with other children, well, everything you do has a rebound to it, so be very mindful of what you do. Already at a very young age, make her aware that what she sends out, she will receive back somehow. Do it in a way that she can understand it through play. But it is an important part of her growth pattern is for her to realize that. Why? Because, and I don't know if we've discussed her before, but because she's kind of a pistol, she's got a lot of energy up that butt, and she's going to be like a rocket that just goes off, right? Because she knows what she wants and she knows where she wants to move into, what direction, and so on. Her soul's very aware of what the journey is about. Because of that, she will, if should we not install that action reaction thing,
Mhm.
she would seem selfish to people.
Okay.
That would not be the case, but that's how
Mhm.
people would perceive it. Spoiled and selfish. So by very early on at an early age, really explaining, or in a very fun way, of course, explaining that what we send out to people, they will give back to us, and that we therefore have to be careful the way we say things or the way we ask things, that we can still do it and ask, but be very mindful in how we say it and how we send it out. Then that'll really give her the foundation to still go after what she wants, to keep that fire and that spitfire in her, but to do it in a very kind of respectful way towards other people. Does that make sense? Because it
Does
would
it
never
does.
be her intention to be rude,
Sure.
but because she's so, that's what I want, that's where I'm going,
Mhm.
because she's so very directed, very goal oriented, other people may perceive it differently. Not that we should care what other people think, but um, part of her journey is to inspire others to become master manifestors. So we want to make sure people actually like her. We want to make sure that she can communicate with people in a way that other people will perceive her in the right way, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it just feels like
We'll
that's
work
the
on
only
that.
advice at this time, because she is at an age where she's starting to realize I am me, that is them. And okay, we're not the same, and we're not responding the same, we're not seeing things the same way. She's starting to get to that age of realization that there is a difference in people beyond her family. So yeah, it's an important step for her. So yeah, that's definitely
That's
something.
good. That's good advice. I will follow that for sure.
Any more questions on your end? Because
I
it looks
mean,
like over here they seem very positive, despite the changes that are going to occur in your journey now. Very, you know, pretty big changes are coming your way. They don't want to tell you all the changes because otherwise you'll try and prevent it. But they're saying certain things you have to go through. But just know that change is definitely going to be the word for 2025, 2026, but it's going to lead you to exactly where you want to go. Go ahead.
My only question is really with, I guess, with channeling, you know, trying it for many years, understanding, I do get things. It's just hard for me to really always believe them. And the only way I know if I'm doing it or not is sometimes by the information or the wisdom that I get is something that I would have never thought of. So I guess
Mhm.
I'm just trying to understand, is that a possibility for me? And, you know, is it happening? Is it in my mind? It's hard for me to know the difference.
Well, okay. And I feel like this is Natuki or something, I
Mhm.
think. Um, that's responding. Okay. First of all, he says you have to dismiss the idea that whatever's happening in your mind is just happening in your mind. All reality comes from a state of imaginary. Whenever you come up with something, whenever something goes into the imaginary mind, it has been created.
I
Okay,
see.
so it is an incorrect belief, an incorrect definition that humans align with, he says, that that the imaginary is not real.
I see.
It is 100% real. Okay. Two, you're not that creative. Can I just say that? He says.
That's the thing. Like,
That's the thing.
I
You're
can't.
really
That's why I
not
say to
that
myself,
creative
I'm
of a
not that
source.
creative to come up with that
No.
answer.
So he says you are a very controlled person. You're very much you think in state in a way of structure, in a way of numbers, zeros and ones, he says. You think in terms of steps. You're a preconceived step man. That means that whenever you process information or even receive information that is made by you, it'll have a certain structure to it. It'll have a certain stepping mechanism for you to get to that idea. Now, whenever you feel that, and you're like, okay, I can see how I got there, then it's you. Then it's usually you. Okay. However, 90% of what you receive comes from an outer source, and that's a lot. Okay. Why? Because, well, one, most of the information you get is just too far out there. Okay. You're not a movie writer. You're not somebody, you're not a book writer. You're not, hi, sweetheart. Hi, sweetheart. Look at that beautiful smile. Okay. So, are you being kind to daddy? She can't hear me. Are you being kind? You being nice to daddy? Hi, sweetie. Can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you. What happened? We lost sound. Oh, I think somebody accidentally hit the button.
There we go.
There we go. There we go.
Now you're
How are
gonna
you
do
doing,
You don't
honey?
need those. You don't need those. No,
it.
you don't need those, sweetie. You can hear it from
Why?
here. Yeah.
Hi.
Saying hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
Are you excited about Santa coming?
Yes. And we
Yeah.
have some candies right there.
Okay.
She
Well, don't
loves
make him too
candy.
fat. He still has to get through all the chimneys.
Yeah. Santa.
Ah, you gotta think ahead. You gotta think about that. Have you
Yeah.
seen
And
any
then
angels
Santa's gonna
lately?
eat all the cookies.
Oh, yeah? Have you seen any angels lately? Do they come and visit you at night?
Yes.
I know, they're fun, right? Do they play with you? Because they play with me sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you shy? No,
Yeah,
you're
but
not
no.
shy.
It was snowing and I was
It is
and Ethan
snowing where
was
you are?
shy. And
Well, next time you see your angels, you say hello for me, okay?
okay.
Okay, it's a deal. It's a deal. Well, you have fun with them. They're there to
Yeah,
protect you, okay?
we have a new picture.
You have a new picture?
Yeah,
Can I
it's
see it?
kind of cool.
Yeah, you love art, don't you?
I love art. It's my favorite
Oh,
game.
wow, very
I
cool.
love and I in my game it's as hide and seek. What's your favorite game?
What's my favorite game? Well, I like tag.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one. I play it with my daughter a lot. But
Tagging.
here in France, they call it touche.
Yeah, I like that too. It's
It's just a lot of fun because we get to touch everybody and go, ah!
yeah.
You being silly like your
I
daddy,
know.
huh?
Yeah,
You silly.
yeah, it's funny. Yeah, and this is Daddy's up here.
You love your daddy?
Yeah, he's so cute.
Oh, he is cute. I agree with you
He, he
100%.
has he has another peer, but
Oh, the other computer? Yeah, I got another one, don't I? Yeah.
yeah, he'll have another Peter,
Yeah. I
and
got
that
another
and
computer.
it's not definitely this one.
Yeah. This,
Wow, daddy works with a lot of computers, I think.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's so
He's
funny.
very smart in
My
in
mommy,
those. I'm
my
not. I
mommy,
can't work with
my
computers.
mommy, my mommy
That's how I am with
knows
cars.
you. Mommy knows you. It's your neighbor. Is
Yeah.
this your neighbor?
No, this is Emma.
Hi,
She lives in
Emma.
France.
I live all the way in France, all the way over the big great ocean,
It's a beautiful country over there.
where the Eiffel Tower is. Where the Eiffel
Yeah, the
Tower
Eiffel
is. You know
Tower.
the Eiffel Tower in Paris?
Can we
Yeah, the
go there
Eiffel
and meet
Tower.
her?
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah, you
people
guys are
come.
always welcome. I've got an extra spare bedroom.
Yeah,
You're always
Emma.
welcome.
Yeah, and I have another Emma. She's a kid.
Oh yeah, your
Is she a
friend.
friend of yours?
Yeah,
Is she nice?
she likes playing hide and seek too.
She likes to play hide and seek too. Well, that's good. It's
Yeah,
always
my
good to
name is
hold on to friends.
Isabella. By the way.
I know, your name is Bella. That's what my angels tell me.
Mine and so I was 4 on my birthday.
You're 4?
Yeah, and was
About to
Wow,
become
look at
5.
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna be
Starting to
5
lose
on my
some teeth.
birthday.
Okay. So what's your angel called? What's the one that's with you all the time? What's
She's
his name?
named Pink Strawberry.
Pink Strawberry. I like that name. Wonderful. Is she watching over you? Is she protecting you?
Yes,
Yeah, she's fun, isn't she?
Pink Strawberry.
Yeah.
What's your angel name?
Well, I have two angels, and one is called Raphael, and the other one is called Marna.
And what's the other one called?
You want you want is well, I have Raphael and Marna. There's my two angels.
Cool. And I have 2 angels.
Oh
One
yeah.
named Asha.
Okay.
Hmm,
That's cool.
those are some cool names.
So,
You're gonna have to draw them for Daddy.
so
You wanna make a
my
drawing for Daddy and
Yeah.
show him your
so
angels.
Ethan is at the hospital.
I know, but he's doing good. He
Yeah.
went
We
through
hope so.
surgery, huh? He's
Yeah.
gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Are you worried about him?
He's having some new ones.
Yeah, he's having some new lungs, and now he's gonna be able to breathe a lot better.
Yeah,
Huh?
he's gonna be a lot better. Come home.
And he had something fixed on his heart too, the angels say.
Yeah.
Mm.
Are you almost done? Are
Yeah,
you almost
Yeah.
done
we're
talking?
almost done, Minnie.
Yes.
Do
You've
you
been
need
really
your
good.
daddy?
You've been really good.
Do you need
Yeah,
your daddy,
my
sweetie?
daddy is darn cute.
I think that's the first time she's ever called me cute. That's adorable.
Well, I agree with you, Bella. I think we should just love him and hug him because he's the best daddy ever. Because he loves you very much.
Do indeed. Thank you so much, Emma.
You're welcome. Okay, so Bella, can you make a drawing for me? And you can draw your angels, and then your daddy will send it to me so I can see.
That sounds wonderful.
Does that sound good?
And I have a card.
You do?
Yeah. Daddy, show her the card.
The card?
Yeah.
Not sure what you mean.
The card for
The card?
for the birthday.
Oh yeah, she
Oh,
got
you
invited
got a
to her first
birthday
birthday
card?
party. Yeah, it's on Sunday, her first
I want
birthday
another
party. You want to show it to her?
party.
I'm not sure where it's at, sweetie. It's right there. You want to show her real quick? Okay, right there.
What?
Now wants to show her
So
first
whose
birthday
birthday
card.
is
She's been
it?
invited to a birthday. It's a
Aslan's.
Barbie birthday. So
Nice. For some reason, I kept seeing pink, but now I understand why.
And at the back, it has something on it.
yeah, it's got a phone number. We had an RSVP.
Are you gonna go?
Yeah.
I'm so
That's-
excited.
Oh yeah,
Eleanor,
good. You should be.
And Eleanor is so excited to come.
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. Everybody's gonna be laughing and playing, and then we're gonna have birthday and candles and cake.
Yeah,
the
it's
best.
fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. Well,
sounds
you have
nice.
fun, honey.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll get you
Bye.
that. We'll get you that picture over.
Are you
Yes,
done?
I want to see your angels. You make a
Alright.
big
Okay.
drawing,
Oh, are
and then you say, "This is this one, and
Are you
that's that one."
done?
Yes.
Yes, we're gonna go.
Yes.
Unless Daddy has a last question.
No, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good. Thank you.
Yeah, we're good. Bye.
All right, so I'm gonna send you the recording.
Okay.
Just make sure. I think it's like 3 days now. They
Bye.
changed WeTransfer from 7 days to 3, so you're just gonna have to try and get it
Oh,
within
wow.
that 3 days
That's good.
downloaded.
Yeah. No
That's
problem.
good.
Okay.
No
No problem at all. Thank
And
Yeah,
you
no-
go have fun with Daddy.
you.
Okay,
What, sweetie?
bye.
I love her. Love you, big home. Give you a big kiss, Bella, and a big kiss to Daddy.
Bye.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. And I will see you guys next time, okay?
Sounds great.
Okay,
Have a Merry
And you know,
Christmas.
if you want to see
Merry
friends,
Christmas.
you can always come visit.
All right. That sounds
Merry
great.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, honey. Have great, happy holidays.
Turkey,
And just
turkey muffin over.
Turkey Patrick.
thank you. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, sweethearts.
Bye.